Hello everyone, welcome to my third video on enhancing the joy of reading. I hope you watched my first two videos and I want to thank each one of you for all your likes, subscribes and messages. There are beautiful messages from friends all over the country, and one special mention I want to make here. She's a friend from Nigeria, an educationist herself and a CEO of a company. She said for 1 week consecutively they'll be observing reading time in their schools, and also they'll be sharing videos. Thanks a lot for encouragement, for your positive feedbacks. It really keeps me going. So coming back to our today's topic, which is active listening. In the process of learning, active listening is really important, not only in the learning but also in our day-to-day relationships with our spouses, with our boyfriend, girlfriend, between parent and child, between adolescents, between friends. It's very important to listen to people. And how does it help in relationships? When you listen to the person with all your attention and all your intention. Two things that I want to mention about here is attention and intention. Listening with my complete intent to listen to you will help me understand, help me connect with you, help me to learn exactly what do you want to convey. So this is very important. Most of the people in today's world, between husband and wife, we've seen once the one partner wants to say something, the other one is either scrolling down the screen or talking to somebody or is fiddling with something or busy multitasking. So I'll give one example here. Let's say your child has come running to you, or your wife wants to discuss a very important thing that has happened during the day. What is it? How do we model that behavior that can help enhance our relationships, not only the bond but respect for each other, respect for the thing that I am important to you, and respect for your own time and other person's time. When with children we do not follow this. Second example, let's say the child has come running to you and you are busy talking or scrolling down your screen. You've kind of conveyed the message to your child that it is all right. This behavior is all right. When somebody talks to you, you can carry on doing your work. So dear parents and teachers, most of the time I have seen they get exhausted saying, gets exhausted saying children do not listen to us because they have a certain limited time span. They do selective hearing. So they will listen to you what they want to, and rest they get tuned out of what you are saying. So most of the time, rest of the thing that you've conveyed does not get conveyed. So to ensure how they start listening to us, we have to first model that behavior to them. And we also have to make them understand the importance of listening, because learning, it is one of the most important elements in the process of learning, because children learn to be self-reliant when parents listen to them. They become confident, they feel that they are loved and they are important, and they become very good communicators themselves. And at office, if you are listening very carefully to your boss or to even your colleague, you end up wasting less time, committing less errors. That's how it is very important. So now how do we model this behavior? For example, somebody has come to you, your child or your student, and you are busy. You can't spare time, but you still keep listening to the person. Nod your head. I will suggest, my request, personal suggestion is to keep whatever you are doing for a minute and say, yeah, tell me, what is it? So look into person's eye, make an eye contact, nod your head. Your body language should be receptive, like, oh, I am interested, I have the complete intention to listen to you. And then rephrase what the person is saying. Oh, really? Yeah, I understand. Okay, so this is what has been bothering you. When you do all this, the person feels that you are interested in listening. And also, if you don't, most of the time we've seen we keep interrupting, we keep questioning, we keep arguing, or we do not let the person actually convey what they want to convey. So for learning to understand, we have to keep control over at least for a duration till the time person finishes. Now they always say, like, God has gifted us 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we make double use of this and half of this. Now, how do we get that attention from them? For that, our content has to be really intriguing. It has to be captivating, holding, so that the person get glued to what you are saying. Make it short, make it interesting, make it really in your classroom. If we talk about it, should be multiple things happening at the same time, because children, they not only learn by listening to you, they learn by doing. So there can be visual, there can be audio, you can use lots of props. And the moment you say, okay, today we are going to have this interesting story in the classroom, you see all eyes, all ears, they are on you. So they want to participate, they want to listen to what you have to say. So coming back to my storytelling, how to enhance listening through a story, we can follow 2-3 methods. First of all, your story has to be really interesting, age appropriate. We can't, like for class 8, we can't be doing this level, or for junior school, we can't be doing history lesson kind of a thing. So it has to be really age appropriate. And of course, the language has to be very simple, where child can relate to what you are speaking. We can't be like using all the difficult words which they do not relate to, and it can be in their mother tongue initially to get their full hold of the situation. Then asking questions. So what do you think, what happened next? Then you can even ask them to repeat the dialogue. What happened? Have you heard? So how did he say? Can you repeat this? And then taking the story forward, you can also use hand puppets, you can use string puppets, you can use soft toys. So whichever way you want to make it more interesting, you can keep using those props. Question answers, props, making them repeat the same thing. So you are involving. There is a full involvement of the child during storytelling. Next is what kind of exercises now we do to enhance this listening skill. We can have who said to whom from the story. We read out 2-3 dialogues like cluck cluck, I'm sorry, who said this to whom? So the chicken said this to Taylor. So it can be from your story, the question can be from your story, and there can be dialogue exchange between the students. Or there can be, number 2 is role play. You can have a role play where one person becomes Taylor and rest of the class becomes those animals. They are imitating those animals. They can even do voice modulations. They can learn those dialogues. If students are small, you read out the dialogue to them. But if they are old enough to imitate the dialogue, they can repeat the dialogue. So let them do this part. So because that's speaking skill, and confidence is also getting enhanced. If they come and speak the dialogue, then of course that means they have memorized it and they can voice modulate it. So this will really help in other aspects also. Then second question after who said whom can be, you put all the animals in the order, the way they appeared in the book. We put them in random order and then they arrange all the animals in the order. That becomes your second game. Third, because since it's a listening thing we are talking about, we can have this sounds. You play animal sounds, whichever animals we've talked about, or even you can include 2-3 more, and you can have animals identify the sound. Now when the child has to listen to the sound, there has to be pin drop silence. Before starting the story, always give instructions that now we are going to have a story, and I expect each one of you to listen very carefully, as I'll be asking you questions and you will be asked to play a role play. You can be asked to repeat my dialogue, and in the end the entire class can repeat the story in the proper order. So that ensures your 100% participation. No child is left Otherwise, only the intelligent ones will keep answering. The ones who have a quick, they can pick up fast, but the others will keep sitting and they would not dare to answer. By repeating the entire story, what we can do, we can start from one end and let it go one by one. Each child speaks one dialogue and they may even repeat. It's all right even if they repeat, it's all right even if they speak wrong. You don't need to correct them and say, oh no, this is not the way. You can always just paraphrase it. You can, okay, so this was said by, you just say the exact what has happened. Don't say right or wrong, don't interrupt, don't give a negative remark, because that will dampen the spirit of the story. So let it continue whichever way, even if it goes little haywire, it goes wrong, it's all right. Just accept, because there is a atmosphere of learning being built, which is much more important than being right or wrong. I think I have covered all the points. Enjoy reading with your children and also listening with them. One more thing that's happening here is they've learned already all the names of the animals. So we can also introduce the concept of naming words here. So name all the animals, and then we say when we name a person or a place or a thing, it is called a naming word. That's how a second concept can be brought into it. And the social aspect, that last time I had talked about emotional part of it. The social part, here you can say that Taylor was comfortable talking only to the rabbit. He expressed only to the rabbit and he wanted rabbit as his friend. So what are the qualities you are looking for in your friend? We also have to inculcate the value of taking ownership of our own behaviors. Am I responsible for my behavior? What kind of friend do you want in your life? If you expect your friend to have these qualities, she should be caring, she should be loving, she should take care of whenever, like my things, or help me doing things. So do you also have those qualities? If I expect you to have those qualities, then let's turn the table and to have same qualities. Now, dear parents and teachers, when we bring children to understand all these things right from their childhood, from grassroots levels, they start questioning themselves. They understand that there's something like this where you need to be responsible, where you need to listen carefully, where you need to be nice to others so that they talk to you, they love to be in your company, and why people love a certain kind of company. So when these questions are asked by students to themselves, even if they do not do it first time, but over a period of time, when you keep bringing these repeatedly, these social emotional aspects where they learn to adjust with others, share their things, moving from I to we, learning in a group, doing group activities, there is a whole lot of learning happening as a holistic learning. Thank you. Keep watching, keep liking, and I hope you subscribe it too. Signing off, this is Indu Punj. Bye bye.